And my sisters, Genesis chapter 15, verse 1, once again. Just one verse. Genesis chapter 15, just one verse. If you have the King James Version, you'll find these holy, divine, and inspired words. It reads, "After these things, the word of the Lord came unto Abram in a vision, saying, Fear not, Abram. I am thy shield and thy exceeding great reward." The word of God. As we continue to preach and teach around our theme, our focus, if you will, of embracing the God-filled life, we want to pick up on part 2 this week, entrusting everything completely. So if you and I, Jamila, want to embrace the God-filled life, then we've got to entrust everything completely. Last week in part 1, we actually looked at the reason that we can trust everything to God, and that reason was that, Ashanti, God knows you and God knows me. And when I said that God knows you and God knows me, I'm talking about in the most intimate of terms. We talked about this morning in Genesis. It says that Adam knew Eve and she conceived. That word knew was talking about intimacy, and the psalmist helps us. And he picks it up, Brother Thompson. The psalmist said, God said, you know my uprising and you know my down sitting. He said, he said, no thought, God, can be withholden from you. He said, you know me altogether. So God knows us. And that's why we can entrust everything to him. And because God knows both you and me, since he knows us, Delbert, in the most intimate terms and parts, then that means he can speak to us relevantly. Relevantly. In other words, Ajira, if I am hungry, God will not show up to me and start talking about biochemistry engineering. That wouldn't be relevant to what's happening in my life. You remember in Deuteronomy chapter 8, verse 3, Sister Cannon, God told the children of Israel, he said, I'm the one that suffered you to hunger, and the reason that I made you hungry is so I can prove that I'm the only one can feed you. The reason I made you hungry is so I can give you bread from heaven, so that you will know that man does not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceedeth out of the mouth of God does man live. So I thank God that I got a God who speaks to me relevantly. And then because he knows us, he speaks to us personally. The word said, and the word came to Abraham. It didn't say it came to Abraham Nim. We make up a word. We take the TH right off. We just say, and Nim. He speaks to me personally, and he speaks to me clearly. So not only should you entrust God, Lorene, everything to God completely because he knows you, but secondly, we need to entrust down there everything to God because he understands us. Not only does he know you, he understands you, and he understands me. It kills me today. Young folk, they 15, 16, 17 years old and got nerve to tell their mama, daddy, y'all just don't understand. Baby, how you think we got 49 and 50 and 60? We've been 15. We know about having pimples. We know about zits you can't hide from. We know about rejection. We know about being turned down. And you talking about we don't understand? We understand what you're going through. We definitely been there. And see, we don't understand that you got a problem because, see, we had one TV in the house. Y'all got them on your phone. And it's tripping because you don't have cable on your phone. So we do understand. No matter what you're going through, believe me, your parents understand. And to show you that they understand, that's why they are disciplining you and guiding you, because they do understand. We don't want you to run into the same wall we ran into. Baby, believe me, you may not think your parents got sense now, but you just keep getting older. You keep on living, and I guarantee you're going to call back and thank your mama and your daddy for all them chokeholds they put you in. Because it's going to keep you safe, out of jail, and alive. So thank God we got a God that understands us. God actually, Susan, understood how Abram was feeling. He understood what was on the inside of Abraham's heart and mind without being told. I thank God that I got a God who understands me. I thank God I got a God who understands. And as we look at this text, hopefully we'll leave with three good lessons on today, if you will. So first of all, I want to show you three ways in which God understands us, and hopefully that will reassure us. So the next time, young folk, old folk, in between folk, the next time you say, don't nobody understand me, think twice before you say that. All right? First of all, the text tells us through Abraham that God understands your fearfulness. God understands your fearfulness. Now, I doubt very seriously, Minister Perry and Reverend Owens, that anyone would have known that Abraham was secretly terrified on the inside. I bet you couldn't have saw that. Oh, sure, Renee. I'm sure that Abraham's shoulders were squared. I'm sure he stood up, and I'm sure his back was straight. I'm sure his head was held high. I'm sure, Andrew, that he had a noble expression, and his entire demeanor was one of calm dignity. But y'all, that's on the outside. Make no mistake about it. At one time or another, it may have slipped into Abraham's mind that these Eastern kings that I just defeated, they going to come back, and they going to have not reconciliation on their mind. They going to have retaliation on their mind. I'm sure it may have slipped into old Abe's mind that, oh man, what have I done? And you say, well, no, Reverend, that's not right, because the Bible said God hath not given us the spirit of fear. It does say that, but it did not say that we couldn't go acquire it by ourselves. It just said he didn't give it to us. Now, you and I know it's a whole lot of things God didn't give to us we get. Because David said, he said, at what time I'm afraid, in Psalm 56, I will trust in you. So somebody got afraid. So being afraid is not the bad thing. It's just what you do when you're afraid. Abraham might have been plagued, Tremaine, by the what-if bug. What if he had done something on impulse for this ungrateful nephew of mine, Lot, and somehow by fooling with Lot, I've thwarted God's plans for my purposes and my life? What if? What if the kings return, killed me, rape Sarah, and take everything I got? What if I had just risked everything and for nothing? Like Abram, have you ever been plagued by the what if bug? My brother told us something. We went to California about the what ifs, but I can't tell you. Now y'all wondering why I brought it up. Why does your stomach today still turn, and your face drain of color, and your heart starts racing at just the thought of the what if? Now you know what the if is, because it's your if. Are you secretly afraid that you've done something that will prevent God from blessing you fully? Let me just come on in the house and scoot next to you. Are you out there saying, okay, I had an abortion, Now, what if God, is that going to prevent God from blessing me fully? What if God does not have favor on me because he said, thou shalt not kill? You don't seem to have a problem with lying and stealing, two other things he said don't do. So why is this one burning? No, I'm serious. It gets me because sometimes, and now everybody, listen. Everybody that lived is going to make a mistake, or two, or three, or four. All right? I plan on making something tomorrow. I'm just telling you. But the point is, Sean Gibson, when I talk to some young ladies, they come in and they get that moment of passion, and they come in and obviously you get pregnant. And then they say, well, like, I wasn't trying to. I said, yes, you was, because if you did that, you was trying to. I mean, you don't get pregnant from playing spades. Come on. So then they say, well, you know, Pastor, I can't. And I just listen, because I ain't telling nobody. It's your body. You did it. You got to come up with you talk to somebody else. Okay? Well, I can't do this, because if I kill it, then God said that's wrong. I said, oh, but how'd you get it? I mean, my point is, you wasn't thinking about wrong when you got it. So now you want to bring up righteous standards when you got it by being unrighteous. Are you saying, well, see, I got a divorce, and what if God holds that against me? Because, again, church folk will run up to you, son, daughter, the Bible say God hate divorce. Well, mama, the Bible also say don't drink, and you drink. So what you telling me now about divorce for? Well, I committed adultery, and I don't think God going to use me because God said thou shalt not commit adultery. Well, God also say forsake the assembly not yourselves together, so you don't come to church. So why are you thinking? Well, I told a lie. And I wonder if that's going to prevent God from using me. Well, I used to cheat, steal, and I even killed somebody. And I wonder will God hold that against me? That's the what if bug. You're wondering if on past sins. Are you afraid that you will never be able to fulfill your potential for God? What secret fears are lurking in the deep recesses of your heart? Abram's experiences teaches us that God knows and he also understands. Notice. When God came to Abram, it brought peace to him. It didn't bring terror. Notice what he said. To show you Abraham was scared, what's the first thing God said? Fear not. Why would you tell somebody who ain't fearing to fear not? Abraham knew that if these kings get on them horses and bring their Uzis and come in here like the Crips and the Bloods, I'm in trouble. So God knew where he was, he understood him, and God said, fear not. And what God was saying to him was, Abraham, I got you, boy. Not only do I got you, I got the folk that you're afraid of. And not only do I have them, he said, I got the whole world in my hands, boy. That's why he said, I am your shield. He said, you don't have to worry about your back. You don't have to worry about your front. You don't have to worry about the gangbangers. You don't have to worry about the Clampets, the Hatfields, and the McCoy. He said, I hold the whole world in my hand. I'm going to shield you, Abram. I'm going to place your feet on a solid rock. I'm going to hide you in my pavilion. Can't nobody mess with you, boy. No weapon formed against you shall prosper. Every lying tongue you shall condemn. Greater is he that's in you than he that's in the world. Don't worry about what's coming against you because I am more. See, you need to know you and God are majority. See, when all them thousands of folk come up against you, don't run. Just say, oh, God, how you going to whoop all in? He's still got all power. He's still omniscient. He's still sovereign. He still don't need to check with nobody. No, no, no. See, if you messing with me, Jesus told him, said, look here, Peter. You remember Peter pulled out that plastic box cutter and going to cut somebody's neck off. Jesus said, Peter, said, boy, son, listen, I got 12,000 legions of angels that I can call right now. Peter, in other words, if I was in a fight, I wouldn't call you. Now, he said he had 12 legions of angels. Watch this now. In one legion, there's 6,120 foot soldiers. All Jesus was saying was Peter. I mean, come on, man. Serious, a box